chance of a Vikings Everson Griffen reunion is basically squashed at this point. Last week, I did a podcast talking about why the Vikings signing Everson Griffen should be a no-brainer, especially after the not-so-subtle hints that Griffen posted on Instagram. Basically, please bring me back to Minnesota. I want to be here. So I thought all was well and good. And then came the weekend, Saturday. Went on Twitter, and I see a post by Everson Griffen saying, I'm sorry for posting that about Kirk. It's not right for me to call people out. I apologize for hurting him. I'm very grateful and thankful. And I'm like, wait, what? What's happening here? What did I miss? So I did some digging on Twitter and eventually came across an earlier tweet by Everson Griffen, in which case he said, at Vikings, Kirk Cousins is ass. Thank you. And I said, oh my God, he not only tweeted this out, he actually tagged the Vikings as well. Look, some things should be kept internal for a couple of reasons. Number one, bad press. You don't want that getting out there to the public. But number two, the tone. Some things are better left said on the phone or face-to-face, because with Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and text messaging, whenever you post something out there, the tone is completely up to the interpretation of the reader. So, for instance, Everson Griffen could have very well been saying, hey, Vikings, listen, Kirk Cousins is ass. Thank you. Instead, when I read it, it said to me, hey, Vikings, Kirk Cousins is ass. Thank you. And also, this actually is kind of like deja vu for me. A couple of years ago, I want to say this was back August 2018. There were rumblings and rumors, reports. Oh my God, the Vikings, they may be interested in Richie Incognito. And I did a whole podcast talking about, actually, I don't remember if it was a podcast or just a reaction video, but I basically said, oh my God, this is a no-brainer. Sign Richie Incognito. We talk about guards anytime we bring up a player. Can he play guard? Can we get quality guard play, please? Absolutely. Vikings should sign Richie Incognito. Then the reports were refuted. Mike Zimmer said, absolutely not. And Richie Incognito got on Twitter and said, Mike Zimmer is a fucking liar. So then I basically said, okay, that podcast that I did earlier, the day before, or however long ago it was before that tweet came out, throw that podcast in the trash. So obviously, Everson Griffen, he has a zero chance of coming back to the Minnesota Vikings. And how could he? After you, number one, you publicly disrespect one of the captains on the team. And number two, airing out dirty laundry publicly, because he also tweeted out and insinuated that Mike Zimmer didn't want Kirk Cousins, which I think was pretty obvious to everyone that follows the Vikings. But then also said, who do you think wanted Kirk Cousins? The only other option out there is general manager Rick Spielman. And if there's anything we know about Rick Spielman, he has to be top 3 in this category, but all the general managers are like this, but Rick Spielman, he takes it to a whole nother level. Rick Spielman literally wants nothing related to decision-making and processes out there for the world to see. You could literally get Rick Spielman on a podium and ask him, hey, Rick, what time is it? You have a watch on your wrist right now. And he will sit there and say with a straight face, you know what? My watch may very well say 2 p.m. It could say 3 p.m. But I know one thing. If we put in the work necessary, get better every single day, get better today than what we were yesterday, it can be whatever time it is that we want it to be. And you can just sit there and be like, oh my God, you just said 1,000 words without saying a damn thing. Anyway, Everson Griffen, he then apologized on Twitter. He then asked to come back to Minnesota while tagging the Vikings, also via Twitter. He then made a couple of more wild posts, or actually this goes back before the apologies, but he made a few more wild posts over the weekend, and something just seems off here. Ultimately, I hope Everson Griffen is okay. If not, I hope he gets the help that he needs. If he does play football in 2021, 99.9% chance it's not going to be with the Minnesota Vikings. We do this 3 times a week. Mediocre at Best Sports Podcast with Realistic Randy. Check me out on Twitter at realistic_Randy, Facebook at Realistic Randy. Next podcast is on Wednesday. We'll see you then.